Hi guys, very good evening. So in the last session, we have dealt with the joints and different kind of joints like inner joint, outer joints. In again outer joints, we have a three type of outer joints: left outer joint, right outer joint, and full outer joint. So along with we have dealt with some self joint. So this is the topic we have discussed in the last sessions. So today we are going to discuss a new topic that is called subqueries. So basically in SQL, a subquery is a query. It is embedded in another query. So like it is called inner join or as nested join. So the containing query is often referred to as an outer join. So that means the query uh, which is mentioned inside the bracket is it is called inner join. So basically, subqueries are very useful to retrieve the data. So that will be used to make a condition to the main query that is in an outer join. So we can apply the subqueries. That means you can use subqueries in these classes, various classes like select from where group by having classes. But in joins, we cannot use these classes. So that is the difference between subqueries and joins. So the basic syntax for dealing with the subqueries are as usual, the normal SQL statement selects under different columns, whatever column you want, and where here the we need to mention the condition. So conditions here we need to mention the operators like operators equal to like less than greater than etc. And after that we need to make one more SQL conditions. So the SQL statement which is inside the parenthesis. So this SQL statement is called inner query or nested query and subqueries. So basically, whenever we execute this statement, first the inner query will execute. First, this statement will execute and it will give the results based on the conditions. And this result will be applied as a condition to the main query, that is outer query. So this is the outer query. So basically, joins and subqueries are both are same. So it will give the same results. But depending on the requirements, we can choose either joins or subqueries. So based on these scenarios, we can choose which one is the better. So if you see the performance, joins are faster than subqueries because joins use indexes and other techniques. So basically, subqueries. So it may require more processing and memory. So especially if the subquery return large data or complex result. So in those cases, it require more processing and memory. But whereas in joins, it doesn't require that much memory. And the second scenario is readability. Readability. So if you compare with the joins and subqueries, so subqueries are more readable than joins because they can express. So by using subqueries, we can build SQL statement in a similar way compared with the joins. So basically, subqueries can also avoid duplication and redundancy. So it is same as a joins. So by using the same queries in a different places. So joins. So if you work with the joins, it may require more code and conditions, so which can make the query harder to follow the debug. So, subqueries, we can use these classes. By using these classes, we can easily understand what it is returning after the execution. But whereas in joins, we can't able to use these classes. So that's why it is a very hard to read. And the third one is the flexibility. So we can say simply flexibility is nothing but depending on the requirements, how you can easily change your SQL statement from one language to another. That means, for example, if you are using in MySql and how easily you can convert to the PostgreSQL and SQL servers. This is the flexibility. So subqueries are more flexible than joins. So because it can handle different types of data and operations. So it can also be used in place where joins are not allowed. So as I said earlier, joins didn't allow these classes group by having. But in subqueries, we can use all those classes. So this is the brief description about the subqueries. So now we are going to see with an example. So for example, let's consider. So let's consider. So in our student table, we have a columns like ID, full name, initials, price, contact, and date of birth. So now my condition is, so I want to display the entire student details. So whose price is greater than the average of price. So that means, so first we need to calculate the average. So based on the average, so after getting the average, so then we need to display the student details whose price is greater than that average. So we can easily done that by using subqueries. So here from this outer query, and this one is the inner query. That means subquery. So our requirement is, so we need to display the all the details whose price is greater than the average of the price. So for that, we need to select first condition. So we need to display all conditions. For that, we need to use that symbol select start from student. Our condition is price. Price should be greater than the average of the price. So we need to make an one condition. We need that condition need to calculate the average of the price. So average AVG, and we need to mention the column name from student. So once you will execute this query, yeah, in subqueries we can write as many as select statements. There is a no restriction, so we can use as many as we want. So if you run this SQL statement, first always the subquery will execute first. So based on the SQL statement, it gives the result. So select average from the student. So from the student table, this statement will calculate the average price, and then the average result will applicable these conditions. So this is the final result of this statement. So for example, if you want to see the average, for example, let's take an so our average is 487. So here the condition is like price whose values. greater than 487, it will display.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah,
Sir, like what is use PCS?
yeah. Actually, PCS is nothing but our database name. So, if you see
Okay.
the left side, these are all the databases. So inside databases, we can have a lot of tables. So for recognitions, we need to use which databases we are going to store our tables. For that, we need to use first database. Then only it will execute all queries. Then only it will store tables, everything. So if you omit this, use PCS database, it won't give the result. It will throw an error.
Okay, means like from all the database, it is using only PCS database.
It's our conditions. So if you for SQL sessions, I am using the this database.
Okay, sir. And what is DESC student?
Yeah.
Like
So this
so.
statement. So once you've created the table, so for example, in some situations, you want to see the description of the table. So for seeing the descriptions, we need to use the dis. So this keyword is used to description of the table. So if you run the statement, it give the description of the tables like columns, and if you mention any keys like a primary key or if you mention any constraints in any some columns, so it will give everything about the student table structure.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, guys. So, hello.
Yes, sir. I'm not able to give understand what is the output this will give. What
Yeah,
is the usage
which
of
one,
this?
can you repeat again?
Because today is my first day.
Yeah, okay, okay, no
Sir, I'm
problem.
not able to understand. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
Not able
Yeah,
to
no
understand
problem.
what is
Yeah,
working
okay,
of
okay,
this.
no problem. You have, so you can find the previous recording sessions in our PCS Global YouTube channel.
Okay.
So we didn't deal with that much topics advanced. It is a basic concepts. From next sessions, we are going to discuss some advanced concepts.
Yes, yes. So
So
that
no need to bother about that. You can find all recording sessions in the
yes.
YouTube channel. Yeah, guys. So this is the subquery. So based on the average, it will list all the details whose price greater than the average of the price. So we can see one more example. So so see, for example, here, so we have a lot of data birth. So now I need to display the student details. So after particular ID. So for example, the ID number 21. So he born on 2029 19th. So I want to display all the student details after the 21 ID candidate born. So in these cases, we can use subqueries as like this. So first we need to select all the details from the student table. So then our base condition is date of birth. So greater than which one? So this ID number 21. His date of birth is 2020. So I want to display after this date of birth. So that's why I'm giving the greater than symbol. Select so DOB from student. Here we need to give the condition. So where ID is equal to 21. So once you execute these SQL statements, first it will execute as usually. Obviously, SQL will always execute subqueries first. So it will select the date of birth, uh, who is who is having ID number 21. So the date of birth is 2020. So it will apply here as a condition. So see this. So the ID number 21, who is having 21 number, he born 2029 on the rate of 9 something. So here the remaining date of birth greater than 2020. So 2023, 2021, 20. So these are all the greater than 2020. So that is the use of subqueries. In lot of cases, in mostly joins are were used. In some situations, these subqueries are maybe used because faster. Joins are very faster than subqueries. So next we are going to deal some functions, how to deal with the strings. So in every programming languages like Java, Python, C++, same like in SQL, there are some inbuilt functions in order to deal with the strings.
So before that, I have one query. May I ask?
Yeah, yes, you can.
Yeah. So actually, like join saver, as you explained that join is faster than this nested query, right?
Yes,
Subquery.
subqueries.
So based on that, like index, right?
Yes.
So can you little bit explain about the index, how it is like giving the faster value as compared to
Yeah,
this
yes.
nested query?
Yeah, that will
And
be, yeah, that are the advanced topics that will be covered in the next sessions, in the
and
upcoming sessions.
okay, thank you. And
Yes.
in the previous sessions, let's like as you have discussed about this making relationship between two tables, we have to use this foreign key concept, right?
Yes.
So I did the practice on the same, but while creating this foreign key relationship, like I have created that one, and while inserting data in that, I was getting some error. But I have some query like what if we have two tables and if we want to make relationship between two tables, in that case, first table one key we have to use as a foreign key to the next table, right? So
Yes.
which key we should take as a foreign key for the next tables? Can you little bit explain about that one? Because
So
some
basically,
yeah.
yeah, okay, sure. So
And what are the
basically,
condition if we are making the same columns in the both two tables, but can we change their data types or not? Can we change their size or not? Is it important like to have the same thing or different can we take?
yeah, so in order to work with the joins, there is a no requirement to make the relationship between two tables using the foreign key. For demo purpose, I have used it. So your question is, so if you make a relationship between two tables, uh, we have to use that foreign and a primary key. So those columns where data types and size must be matched. Then only we can work with that.
So in that case, if one two table we have and the first table we have primary key and second table also we have the
Uh,
primary key, right? Two table
yeah,
are having
oh,
each individual primary key. In that case, which key we should take as a foreign key?
so can we discuss after the session is over?
Yeah, sure. Thank
Because
you.
it is recording.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. So next is strings. So in SQL, in order to deal with those strings, for example, if you want to manipulate a string, so SQL provide there are a lot of inbuilt functions. So some of the important inbuilt functions are this one: ASCII, character length, concat WS, LCase, length, substring. So these are the some majorly used substring functions. Stop it. So, for example, if I want to find the ASCII value of the specified character, so we can use the ASCII select. So we need to use a ASCII function, and we need to this ASCII functions require one argument that need to be specified. So I need to find the ASCII value of the P. So the ASCII value of P is 80. So this is for capital P. So in the same way, if you want to find the small p, just mention the small p, it will give the ASCII value of the small p. So that is the use of ASCII. So on the next one is, so for example, if you want to find the length of the given name. So here I want to find the length of the so
So can you please repeat this? How we can get the value of the P sky value?
sorry. Sorry, can you repeat again?
So can you please tell how we can get the value of P, the sky value? Because it's
Yeah.
showing only the message and the duration fetch. And the output is showing the message one row and the duration only.
Sorry, I'm not getting. Can you repeat again?
The value of P,
Yeah, yes, the value
sky
of
value.
yes.
So it's showing only the time and the action of like limit. So the value of is it 0.2000? It's
No,
showing
no,
here, no?
no. So it is the console results. In the background, how much
Okay,
time it taken.
okay, okay.
So here the result. It is the default. So it to the SQL background is running. So how much time it taken for executing this SQL statement online. So those timings will display
Hello,
here
sir.
and yes.
Sir, where we use the ASCII values in the SQL, can you give any examples for this? I understand how to use it, but I want to know where we use the ASCII values.
So ASCII values. Can use in different scenarios. So, mm, sorry for that. I'm not able to get the correct scenario.
Okay, sir.
So once I get the, then I will give the scenario.
Okay, sir. Okay, sure. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome. So in the same way, if you want to find the length of the given character or string, you can use C. So let me give the here. So the Muni containing 4 characters and this Venkatesh 9 characters is for 5. So like this, it will give the length of the given string or a character. So you can directly mention whatever string you want. For example, if you want to find the length of the given string, you can easily. So it will give the length of the given string is 3.
Sir, before that, it was getting employee first name. It is another database.
Sir,
No, in the same table we are getting.
Okay.
Yes.
sir, actually, when we find the length of the character means it will start index value will start from 0 now. 0, 1, 2.
No. Always in SQL, it always start from 1.
Okay, sir. Okay.
It always in SQL only. In remaining programming languages, it start from zeros. In SQL, it start from 1. So in the same way, so for example, here the employee first name and last name. So I need to display as a full name, Muni Venkatesh as a full name. So in that cases, you can use. So I want to display EMP first name, EMP last name, and so I need to add. So for adding, we need to use one function that is called concat. Concat. So in concat, we need to mention we can directly give the string. Otherwise, we can give the column names. So here I want to concatenate employee first name and last name. So I need to give that to column name. EMP first name, EMP last name. So as a full name from employee. So if you run this, so it will give the result like this. But if you notice, so if you read this name, you will get some confusions. So in order to get rid of that problem, you can directly specify this option, or else you can use one more method, that is concatenate WS. So the full form of the concatenate WS, concatenate with two comma separator. So the separator, whatever you separator give, so based on the separator, it will separate the values. For example, now I want to separate. So employee first name, employee name, spaces. So in those cases, we need to give the space in the first. If you execute, it will do this. So if you give the is equal to, it will take like this. So based on the separator, so you can mention whatever separator you want. So based on the separator, it will use and it will separate the values. So this is the difference between concat and concat underscore WS. So the full form of the concat WS is concat with the separator. So
Sir,
on the,
hello.
yes.
Sir, in the first step, you have done the contact, and then in the output, in the null value, null Kumar, it's showing the output full name as null. And when you use concat WS, it shows the Kumar in the full name.
Yeah,
How is
yes.
that?
So actually, basically, so concat is used to add the two column, that means two strings. But what if in your data, in your table, sometimes it might contain null values, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, null values. So if you want to omit that null values, for that we need to use this function. That means the same separator value function also.
Okay.
So if you here, you can, if you mention like this space, it will give this, because here I manually mentioned null as a null.
Yes, sir.
So for example, if you want to change some text, if you want to change your so for example, I want to change that employee first name Muni in a uppercase. All characters should be upper. So in that cases, we can use function, inbuilt function, that is U case. That means short form of uppercase. So we need to mention the column name from employee. So if you run this, it will convert from lowercase to uppercase. So in the same way, if you want to convert from uppercase to lowercase, so you can use, instead of U, you have to use L. So L, lowercase. For example, see that the starting character of the every word as a capital letter. So that capital letter has been converted into a lowercase. So that is the use of a lowercase, the uppercase, difference between. So the another one is, for example, in your text, there is some spaces that is in front of and end of the string. If you want to remove that to space, we need to use one more function, that is trim. So trim function. So it is basically used to remove the leading and trailing space of the given string. So let's consider I have given this space PCS. So if you execute this command, it will give. So because trim is used to, it will remove this leading space and as well as this trailing space. So that is the user for trim. So if you want to remove only leading space, then you can use L trim. See, so here I have removed the leading space, trailing space. So that's why here the leading space is remain same. So that is the difference between trim, L trim and R trim. So for example, if you have any one word, if you want to repeat some string, some portion of a string, you want to repeat some certain times. So in those cases, we can use one major function, that is repeat function. So repeat, this function will take two arguments. One is the string which you want to repeat, and the another argument is how many times you want to repeat that string. For example, I want to repeat PCS. PCS as a 3 times. So if you execute, it will give the PCS as a 3 times. So it will repeat the given string in number of times based on these conditions. So this is the repeat function. And so in the same way, if you want to reverse a given string, so we can use reverse function. Select reverse, you need to give the string. For example, PCS global. So it will reverse the given string.
So it is the reverse the character of the string.
Sorry, can you repeat again? It too? Hello?
Okay. Yes, reverse the character of the string.
This one?
Yes.
Yeah, it will reverse the given string.
Okay.
See, you can read the in reverse format, PCS global. So these are the major some string in order to deal with the strings. So we're going to deal one more topic like. So in major cases, if you want to deal with the dates, like other programming languages in SQL, so it provides some inbuilt date functions in order to deal with the dates. So basically, in SQL, the format of the date is format of the date function is year, then month, then date. So this is the default format of the date in SQL. So if you want to display date as well as the time, so the format like this, hour, minute, and seconds. So this is the format of the date. So let's suppose I want to retrieve the current date and time. So for that we need to use select now. So date function also has a lot of methods. So one of the method is now. So it will give the current date and time. So today date is 3. So time is 5:43. So that's why it is given the current date and time. So let's suppose you want to return only date. I don't want to retrieve time. So in those cases, we need to use select current date. So if you execute, it will give the current date. So today date. In the same manner, if you want to display the current time, select current time. So it will give the time of the current. So for dealing with the dates, I have created some sample table. Yeah, this one. So I have created one table that is test table. So inside test table, we have 3 columns: ID, name, and birth time. So ID and our name is PCS global. So from this table, I want to display everything along with the birth time, only date. I don't want to retrieve time. So in those cases, we can use a select. So whatever column you need to specify. So I want to name, and then we need to. So from this birth time, I want to only date. So for that, we need to use date function, and we need to mention the column name. So birth time as from test. So it will give the name and it will give the only birth year and month date. So in the same manner, I want to. So here we have a lot of like year, month, date, hour, minute, seconds. So let's suppose in some situations you want to only year. So I want to extract only year from the birth time. So I want to only extract month or date, or else I want to only extract hour. So in the situations, we can use one more function of the date, that is select. So I want to display the name as well, and do extract. So extract. So these functions. This function is used to deal with the date. So these functions will accept two parameters. One is unit. So for example, units are nothing but to units are, you can simply think like units are hour, minutes, day, month, year, a week. So those are the units. And from which column we need to extract on specified unit. So for example, here I want to extract only here. So I need to mention the unit name from which column. So from, it is a default keyword, and we need to give the column name. So our column name is birth time from test. So if you execute, so it will extract only here. So you can, for time being, you can, our column name should be as here. So here of is, or is it extract only year. So in the same manner, if you want to extract month, you need to specify the month. So it will give the month. So in the same manner, if we want to extract day, so day is like this. So day is 2023. Yeah, day is 2023. In the same manner, if you want to extract only hour, you can means hour. So like this, minute and second. So like this, we can extract whatever you want from the specified date. So for example, so now we have deal with the extract. So let's suppose I want to add. So I want to add some units to the database, to the to date. Like you can add year, you can add date, minute, seconds, whatever units you can add on the specified date. So let's suppose in the same table, so let's start from. So for this birth time, so I want to add 10 years for this. So in these cases, we can use select name, and for adding, so we need to use one inbuilt function that is called date add functions. So it accepts to 3 parameters. So one is we need to mention the column. So on which column we need to add. So our column name is birth time. And then interval. So interval, how many days, how many hours, how many. So we are adding now. For that, we need to use interval. Interval. So, and then we need to add units. For example, we need here I need to add 10 years to that to birth time. So I need to add 10. So our unit is year from test. So it accept three parameters, three arguments. One is one column name, and the another one is how many intervals we need to add digits, how many intervals we need to add, and the unit name. So our unit is year. So we are going to add 10 years to this year. So if we execute it, it will give the result 2033. So because 10 years we added. So in the same manner, we can add month. So be careful here, month is 09. If we add month 9, 10, so it became 7. So, and the year definitely the year will be changed. So in the same way, you can add day also. So we can add 10 days to that. So 20 previous, so it was 23. So we added 10 days more. So that's it. So in the same way, we can add hour, we can add minute, and we can add seconds. So we need to specify the unit name, whatever you want. So
Sir,
this
it will
is
give an upcoming timing.
no, it will add to the existing date.
Okay, it will add existing date
Yeah,
and
yeah,
how many time you are
yeah,
adding in
based on the
MySql.
intervals. So if you give the interval 10, so it will here the based on the unit. Our unit is second. So we are
Okay.
adding 10 second to this date. So if we execute, our time will be, our result will
It is
be
adding
like
at the current date,
26.
right?
Yes, it is adding on the current date.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, 26. So this is the use of the date add functionality. So in the same manner, if you want to subtract from the existing date, you can use the functions similar to this date add. So date sub. So date sub. So it will subtract 10 seconds from this existing data. So year of release is so subtract, yeah, correct. So in the same manner, we can subtract 10 years also. So we extracted 10 years from 2023, it became 2013. So that is the use of the date sub. So it is similar to the date add. Or next. So for example, if you want to, so this is the default. So by system taking default method format, that is year, month, date. And if you want to display date in custom methods, custom formats, so we can achieve this by using the one of the function that is called date format. For example, select name. So our I want to display format like date, month, and year. So date, month, year. So for formatting, we have to use. So there are some formats available. So for year, we need to use capital Y, and whatever format it will use. I want to display first to date. So I want to display our format is date, day. So date and month and as well as year. So for example, I want to format the PCS global as a date format. So here I need to mention format, that is %m d %m %y.
Sharing hyphen.
So incur parameter count to date format. Okay. Sorry guys. So actually a date format will take two arguments. One is, so we are giving the format. So actually we are giving the format correct, but on which column? So that column we need to specify. So I need to specify what the time. Unknown column name. Does it for test to time. So it will format the based on the given conditions. So here you can find the some difference. So month, date, and month, year. So year is 223. So I want to display full year. That means 2023. For that we need to use capital Y instead of a small y. We need to use capital Y. So it will give the full year. So that is the difference between small y and capital Y. So in the same manner, if you want to know the month name, so it will give the name of the month. So small m, it is used to given the code for a specific month. So for September, it gives 9. So if you want to display the name of the month, you have to use capital M. So it will give the name of the month. And yeah, guys, that's it for today. So if you have any questions, you can ask me.
So can you please share this database?
Yeah, okay, definitely.